Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. With this, remember you guys a compilation of Ryzeal combos and deck profile post crossover breakers. I'm ready to get started here with the first combo. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm going to get started here with a 1-card combo, and this is just going to use Bonfire to go into the Ryzeal Ice. But let's get started here. So we're going to activate our Bonfire, use the effect here in order to search out the Ice Ryzeal. So I thought this was a great way of just searching out the search ability of the deck. But we're going to get our Ice Ryzeal here, activate its effect in order to get ourselves the Thode Ryzeal. And then activate Thode Ryzeal's effect, get ourselves the X Ryzeal. Then we can special summon it out. So that's going to be usually what the combo is going to look like. We want to go into these three, and then from there we can use the effect here. So here I did use the effect of X Ryzeal to pitch the aggregator, and then we can activate X Ryzeal's effect and activate aggregator's effect. So aggregator, if you guys don't know, can target one face-up card in the field and negate its effects until the end of the turn, which you might be asking what's the relevance of that. But basically you're just going to be able to chain block using aggregator's effect, which is pretty nice. So we're going to be doing exactly that. Negate our Thode here. Then we can go into our Duel Drive, activate the effect of Duel Drive, detach two materials in order to get ourselves the Ryzeal Cross and Ryzeal plugin. Activate Ryzeal Cross. Then we can switch summon out the Node Ryzeal. Get ourselves the Ice Ryzeal, so we did pitch the Duel Drive. Then we can exceed summon it to go into Ryzeal Detonator. Activate Detonator's effect, just attach the aggregator here to it. So that's pretty nice, and we do have the Node Ryzeal here, which you're going to see. We're going to use it to special summon out another level 4 in order to go into rank 4. But here, just to kind of go over what we've established with this board, is that we do have 3 copies here, or 3 cards as materials for Ryzeal Detonator. So when your opponent activates a card effect, you can attach one material from this card and target one card in the field. And you can do this multiple times per turn, which is very annoying. And then when Aggregator is sent to the graveyard, you're actually going to be able to use the effect to target one face-up card in the field and negate its effects until the end of the turn. And then Ryzeal Cross is very nice as well, because we're actually going to be able to use this card. Once per turn, when an opponent's activated monster effect resolves, you can attach one material from Ryzeal Exceed Monster Control, and if you do, negate that effect. And we had our Ryzeal plugin here that we did have in our hand, which was relevant because there's a moment where if you don't have any Exceed monsters, or if your Ryzeal doesn't have any Exceed materials, you can actually use Ryzeal plugin's effect in order to attach a material before Ryzeal Cross's negate effect resolves. Just because of the timing of this card, it says once per turn when the opponent's activated monster effect resolves. So it's upon the resolution and not upon the activation. So you can actually take advantage of that to attach the material and then negate, like for instance, a Nibiru, which I'm going to be showing you in the next combo. But besides that, we do get our Detonator, our plugin, and our node. So just counting the disruptions here, it'll be 3, and then the aggregator is the 4th one, and then of course we can just split that around depending on how you want to use it with the Ryzeal Cross. And then you can use plugin here, which you're going to see. So we're going to activate plugin's effect in order to get ourselves just any Ryzeal monster onto the board. Then we can attach ourselves the Ryzeal Hole Thruster, which is very annoying for your opponent to have to deal with, because when we detach this card, this is the reason you want to actually detach this trap card first, which I'm going to show you. This is pretty nice as well, because Thode Ryzeal is able to search out our Ice Ryzeal, which is going to set ourselves up for the next turn in case this board gets demolished. So we're going to activate the effect of Ryzeal Detonator just to get our Ryzeal Hole Thruster into the grave. That name's pretty well, to be honest. But anyway, so we're going to get ourselves a Thode. And then we're going to use the effect of Ryzeal Hole Thruster here in order to exceed summon. So we're going to exceed and go into the Baguska. So this is in the scenario that you really just your opponent's going to establish something that's going to be pretty difficult for you to break at the moment. You can just go into the Baguska and just establish a floodgate during your opponent's turn, or go into whatever rank 4 you want besides Baguska, but I thought this was a cool example here to just really demonstrate this. And yeah, that's basically what you're going to end up with. And you have the Ice Ryzeal that lets you extend your plays. So this is going to be one of your main combos just because it's pretty easy to do. And it's also going to give you a bunch of disruption. And it also has protection against hand traps. But yeah, let's go to the second combo that I have for you guys. Okay guys, so the second combo that I have for you is actually showing you how you're going to be able to play through the Nibiru. So here, this is going to be a very quick one. We're going to be normal summoning our Ice Ryzeal, go into the Thode, activate Thode's effect, get our X Ryzeal, use his effect here. Of course, this is what I showed you in the previous combos. Get ourselves the node, then go into the Duel Drive, activate Duel Drive's effect, get ourselves the cross and the plugin. And now here you're going to see right when you get the cross onto the board, you're actually going to go into the 5th summon by getting out your Node Ryzeal, we're going to attempt to activate Nibiru, and you can see our Ryzeal Dual Drive has no materials on it. So as you read Ryzeal Cross here, it says once per turn when an opponent's activated monster effect resolves, you can attach one material from a Ryzeal Exceed monster you control, and if you do, negate that effect. So you would think, oh, no materials, I'm not going to be able to negate that effect, but that is not the case. We can actually activate Ryzeal plugin here to target one Exceed monster or Ryzeal monster in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it, then you can attach one Ryzeal card from your deck to a rank 4 Exceed monster. So we're going to do exactly that. Attach ourselves the trap here, Ryzeal Hole Thruster. Then we can activate the effect of Ryzeal Cross, detach ourselves the Hole Thruster. And the nice thing about detaching the Hole Thruster here is that we're actually going to be able to use the effect later on. And so you kind of saw with the previous combo what we were able to do with that. And from there we could just kind of extend there and just continue doing our plays, go into the Detonator. Activate Detonator's effect, and then put the aggregator back into the Ryzeal Detonator. And then during our opponent's turn, we can actually use the trap card in order to exceed summon. So you can see how you're just able to build on your opponent's play, even if they try to hit you with a Nibiru. Alright guys, so the third combo that I have here for you guys is using Ice Ryzeal and a card in discard. So we're going to normal summon out our Ice Ryzeal, use the effect here, get ourselves the Thode. Then get ourselves the X Ryzeal, so it's the same thing as we've done before. Exceed summon, go into the Dual Drive. So here you're seeing that I'm not using the aggregator, I'm just going to be purely using the Ryzeal monsters, and the reason for that is that we can actually use Dual Drive in order to attach a monster from the a Ryzeal monster from the grave into it as a material. That's exactly what we're going to do. Then going to attach two materials and get ourselves our Ryzeal Cross and Ryzeal plugin. So this is in the instance that you just want to attach it without having to worry about the pressure of using plugin as soon as our opponent tries to interrupt us. Get ourselves the node, detach using its effect here in order to bring ourselves the Thode Ryzeal. Then we can exceed summon and go into the Ryzeal Detonator. Use Ryzeal plugin's effect and Ryzeal Detonator's effect, and we can get ourselves the Ice Ryzeal and attach ourselves the Ryzeal Hole Thruster. Then we can go into whatever rank 4 we want, and in this instance I chose to go into the Abyss Dweller, just because it's going to be annoying for your opponent to have to deal with. Then you have the option here of actually using Ryzeal Cross in order to shuffle these two cards back into the deck. That's totally up to you if you really want to do that, because you can provide, there's a lot of value that you can get out of having those cards in your grave either way. But you can get a draw, and potentially it could be a hand trap and could be pretty disruptive for your opponent to have to deal with. But now let's go to the fourth combo that I have for you guys. Alright guys, so with this fourth combo, I'm going to show you how to use X Ryzeal to end with a similar end board as we did with Ice Ryzeal, and just how you get to it, because you are going to have to like go around a little bit to achieve the same goal. So we're going to normal summon or special summon out the X Ryzeal by pitching the aggregator. We're not going to activate the aggregator's effect, of course, and we can get ourselves the Thode Ryzeal. Activate its effect in order to get the Ice Ryzeal. Then we can special summon our Ryzeal Dual Drive. Activate Dual Drive's effect. Get ourselves the two Ryzeal spell cards. Get our Cross. Use Ice Ryzeal's effect. Get ourselves the Node Ryzeal. Then use Node Ryzeal's effect. Pitch it in order to get ourselves the X Ryzeal. Then we can exceed summon and go into the Detonator. And this is pretty much where you end up, and your two combos kind of interconnect here. And yeah, we end up with our Detonator, we end up attaching material to it, and we have our plugin that we can use to extend as I did with the first combo. But yeah, let's go to the final combo that I have for you guys. Alright guys, before I go to the final combo, if you are enjoying the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and consider becoming a patron. For just $5, I can give you some deck building advice, and you can help support the channel and influence the kind of content I create. Let's get started here with X Ryzeal and Ryzeal Cross, and how we're able to just kind of play through hand traps using this. We're going to do the same thing as we did with the previous combo. And then here we're going to go into the Thode Ryzeal, use the effect in order to get the Ice Ryzeal. So again, same thing as I said before, you're kind of playing with it backwards. Then we're going to go into the Dual Drive, and here get ourselves the Ryzeal Cross, which now we can use to protect whatever we need. Now we can actually search out the Ryzeal Hole Thruster, which normally we would use to search out the Cross. We can activate the effect of plugin, get ourselves our Thode Ryzeal. Then we can activate the effect of Cross here. Shuffle those two back into our deck if we choose to. Ryzeal Detonator that has multiple cards that we can use to either negate using Ryzeal Cross or to pop a card in the board. And of course we have the Ryzeal Hole Thruster that's actually able to pop 3 cards on the board, and later on use that to actually exceed something during our opponent's turn. We have Ice Ryzeal here that's going to give us the ability to extend. If this board is demolished, we're going to use Ice Ryzeal here to extend after our opponent's turn. But we're going to get started here with 3 copies of Ice Ryzeal. This card is pretty integral for the deck. You're going to see a lot of 1 card and 1.5 card combos that use this card. You're going to be able to special summon this card by sending 1 card from your hand or field to the grave, which isn't super relevant because you do want to get its normal summon effect usually, but in case you need the extender, it does have the possibility of doing that, which is nice. Then we have 3 copies of Ryzeal. So this card is normal or special summon. You can add 1 light pyro monster for your deck to your hand. So normally you're gonna see Ice Ryzeal being normal summon, and then you can special summon out your Ryzeal and then use the effect here in order to search out a light pyro monster. And usually the target for that will be Ryzeal here. And if this card is normal or special summon and you do not control any face-up monsters other than low 4/rank 4 monsters, you can add 1 fire thunder monster from your deck to your hand. So usually the target for that could be Ryzeal here, and you just really need the 1 copy of Node. But you can see that the deck works really well in just collecting itself, and as long as you have 1 combo piece, you can kind of get to the other one. And you're going to see that you can end up with the same end board even by using X Ryzeal. So that's why you want to maximize the copies of this. And as you can see, you don't really need a lot of actual like main engine stuff. You could just run a bunch of hand traps. So here we run 3 copies of Mocharmy Futwalos, which is basically like max safe that is legal in the TCG. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is of course a powerful generic hand trap here, but Ash Blossom and our effect veiler do give us the ability of using Small World and use it to search out whatever opposite attribute we need. So if we have Ash Blossom, for instance, we're actually able to search out our Ice Ryzeal by using the Ryzeal or the Node Ryzeal as the bridge, and of course the opposite is true for effect veiler as well. So it just gives you more value out of these cards. Then we run 3 copies of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. If your opponent special summons a monster face up, you can discard this card and target 1 of those face up monsters and negate its effects, and then if it leaves the field, you are able to deal a bunch of damage. So you just have room for a bunch of hand traps, so you can choose what you want to put in here, and this is just the hand traps that I'm running with right now. 1 copy of Triple Tactic Talent. I think it's great if you do happen to go second. 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity, since you're not running a lot of main engine stuff and you do need like your Small World, and in case you search it out, which is the same reason as Pot of Prosperity here, you just want to have great ways of searching out your deck here. And that's why we have 3 copies of Bonfire, 3 copies of Small World, same reason, and I already explained how you actually use it in the deck. And then we have Called by the Grave here for hand traps, 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet as a board breaker. Then we have 1 copy of Ryzeal plugin. You can target 1 Xyz monster or Ryzeal monster in your grave or banishment and special summon it. Then you can attach 1 Ryzeal card from your deck to 1 rank 4 Exceed monster you control as material. So this card is great. You're going to be using this to attach materials and also extending, as you're going to see in the combo video. And then we have 1 copy of Ryzeal Cross, which is a pretty powerful field spell for the deck. It's able to recycle 2 cards back into the deck to draw a card. But not only that, once returned when an opponent's activated monster effect resolves, you can attach 1 material from a Ryzeal Exceed monster you control and negate that effect, which does mean that you have a built-in Nibiru protection, as you're going to see again in the combos. It's very easy to search this out and establish a board that's pretty difficult for your opponent to deal with just hand traps. Then we have 3 copies of Infinite Imperm as the other hand trap of choice. And then we have 1 copy of Ryzeal Hole Thruster. You can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to a number of Ryzeal Exceed monsters you control. Destroy them, then you can attach 1 Ryzeal card from your grave to 1 rank 4 Exceed monster you control as material. So this is a great way of just stacking your Ryzeal monster with more materials and using its effect multiple times, as you're going to see when I get to the extra deck. But besides that, you can banish this card from your grave, and immediately after this effect resolves, Exceed summon using monsters you control, including a Ryzeal monster. So you can exceed during your opponent's turn and go into something like a Guska, which is pretty annoying. Just in case your opponent has a way of setting up some sort of disruption, you can get this out and just stop their turn there. Okay guys, before we go to the extra deck, if you are enjoying the video, consider becoming a patron. For just $5 a month, you can help support the channel, but you can also get some deck building advice and help influence the content I create. But besides that, let's get started here with Zeus. So Zeus, of course, this is an Exceed deck, so you're going to want to run Zeus here just in case. Then we have Typhon in case you get locked out. Basically, it's just a safety net in case you need to go into this, but most of the time you shouldn't have to. And then we have 1 copy of Aggregator here. So this card is sent to the graveyard. You can target 1 face-up card in the field and negate its effects until the end of turn. So you can use something like X Ryzeal here to just pitch it to the grave, and then we can attach it later on to one of our Exceed monsters. And then from there, once we detach it for its effect, we can actually use Aggregator's effect here to target a card in the field and negate its effect. And so usually the target for that will be Ryzeal Detonator here, which I'm running 2 copies of. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can attach 1 material from this card, then target 1 card in the field and destroy it. You can do this multiple times because it says you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. So this effect you can actually use multiple times here in order to pop a bunch of cards, and just know you're not going to be negating anything. You're just going to be popping a lot of things for each material here. And if this card is special summon, you can attach one monster from your graveyard to its material. And if an exceed monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can attach one material from this card instead. Provide some protection. And of course, we can use this here to attach the aggregator, which is very annoying for your opponent to deal with. Then we have 2 copies of Ryzeal Duel Drive. This card is great because you can actually use this effect attached to materials in order to search out your Ryzeal Cross and Ryzeal plugin, which you're going to see in the combos video. And then here we have a bunch of generic rank 4s that you can just play around with and see which ones you want to run. Here I have 1 copy of number 105 Battling Boxer Star Cestus. Once per chain during the battle step, if your Battling Boxer monster battles an opponent, you can attach 1 material from this card and negate the effect of that monster. Then we have 1 copy of 4 Armored Utopic Ray Lancer. At the start of battle phase, you can negate the effects of all attack position monster your opponents currently control. Pretty self-explanatory there. Then we have Light Dragon at Igniter. You can attach 1 material from this card, destroy face of monsters your opponent control up to the number of Igniter monsters you control. And this also provides some protection in the first effect. Then we have Tornado Dragon in case we need to get rid of a spell or trap that's annoying. Baguska to go into it potentially during our opponent's turn to just lock them out. Then we have 1 copy of Evil Swarm Excitionite as a board wipe. Abyss Dweller to lock out Graves, Dugaris to extend our plays. And here in the side deck are cards for you to consider or that are going to come out in the future. 1 copy of Note Ryzeal, so if you want to you can extend the copies for this, but I think you really just need the 1 copy. There is another Ryzeal monster which I thought would be funny to mention, but Palmer Ryzeal here, basically you're special summoning it by shuffling a Ryzeal monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck or extra deck. And you cannot special summon monsters from the deck, from the extra deck, except for rank 4 monsters, which isn't, too big of a cost, but it just isn't providing that much value. And the next effect is also related to the battle phase, which isn't too crazy. Number 104 Masquerade. This is if you want to do some burn damage, then that could be great. Then, of course, we are waiting for Twins of the Eclipse, which will not be in this set. But for this card's Exceed Summon, you can treat rank 4 Exceed monster you control as level 4 monsters for material. You can attach 1 material from this card. This card can make it up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase's turn. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 2 other rank 4 or lower Exceed monsters in your grave, special summon 1 of the 2, and if you do, attach the other to it, which is great. We're going to be able to get out whichever Ryzeal monster we want, and then from there we can probably attach more materials. Then we have 1 copy of Steel Swarm Roach in order to basically just stop the summon of a level 5 or higher monster. But yeah guys, this is my Ryzeal deck profile. Again, if you did enjoy the video, consider becoming a patron, and make sure to watch the combos on the top right corner. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.